Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Lefebvre. You can usually tell when I'm about to do an impromptu kind of spontaneous spur of the moment video because I'm usually in desperate need of a shower. My hair is always up, my glasses are on, and I'm wearing a hoodie that I've worn for the past 2 days. But you and I are friends, so I'm sure you guys don't mind and I appreciate it. Anyway, if you guys know me, you know that I have a lot of ups and downs with my motivation to paint and create videos, and right now I'm in one of those down times. Again, why? I don't know. Maybe that's just the life of an artist. It's fine. But either way, I'm in one of those down times, and usually when I'm in this kind of mood, I try and find fun, different things that will get me motivated to paint. And so I came up with an idea. Some of you may know that I'm working with the brush company Craftimo to create my own Lefebvre paintbrushes, and in that process, they have sent me a few samples of design ideas we've been working on. So because I have a few samples, and one of the samples just is not it, I really like the idea of a matte white handle, and they told me it was probably gonna stain, and I used it, and I don't know if you can tell, it stains. So this one's all stained up. It's a great brush, and I've used it a bunch of times, but the handle is not aesthetically pleasing anymore. So my idea was, why don't I custom paint this paintbrush handle? This is a big enough brush, it's a size 12, and it has a really nice thick handle, and I thought, let's paint it with acrylic paint. Has anybody actually painted a paintbrush before? Like painted on a paintbrush? I don't even know if that's been done. I actually haven't even checked, but it sounded like a really interesting idea to me, so I thought that would be something fun to try. So I'm gonna be painting on this with acrylic paint. It does feel quite smooth, so I have some sandpaper here and I'm gonna try and sand it maybe a little bit. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but the purpose of this is actually just to make it look really pretty. I'm not gonna necessarily use it to paint with after. I have more samples that I will be painting with and using. So this one, I feel like if it turns out nice, it can just be on display, because I feel like after using it a few times of just touching it and dipping it in water, the painting's not gonna last. So this might just have to be propped up on my wall somehow after it's done. But either way, I thought it would be something fun to do. So that's what we're doing. Now, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first thing I did was take some painter's tape and tape the handle, or tape the ferrule, because I wanted to make sure that none of the paint or gesso got on the ferrule. And then I took some paper towel, taped it around the ferrule to protect the bristles from the paint as well, and just taped that over top. Then I took some sandpaper and lightly sanded the handle to get any varnish off of it, so it was just easier for the gesso to stick to the handle. Sand, 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 sand. And then I actually used this paintbrush holder, which is great. I think I mentioned it in one of my other videos. It's meant to dry your brushes, to hang them upside down to dry them. So this actually came in really handy for this project. Here I put some paper towel over the paintbrush, over the top of the brush holder, so I didn't get any paint on that. Then I used my Liquitex gesso to gesso the whole handle. And I just slathered that stuff on. But yeah, that paintbrush holder was great. I will link it below. Small business on Etsy. It's wonderful to dry your brushes upside down. Anyway, then I took my Winsor & Newton acrylic white paint to paint the handle white. So the vibe I was going for on this paintbrush handle was nice, kind of like clean and crisp, like a white background. And then I was thinking maybe some flowers, because that's what I do. I paint flowers. And so here we go. Okay, so we're ready to start. It is dry, and now we're gonna paint some flowers, because that just screams Emma. You know, I just always paint flowers. It's my favorite thing. So I thought that's what I do. I have some Liquitex soft body acrylic. I have it in red, pink, and yellow, and I have some of the white acrylic that I covered it with just to lighten up some colors. I will get some more greens and stuff for after, but I'm gonna do the flowers first. For my brushes, I'm just using my Craftimo brushes for this actually. I have a size 0 and a size 3, and I think we're just gonna get ready to go. So I'm a little nervous. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I still have it in its holder just because I think it'll be better or easier to just control. And now we're gonna start painting the flowers. So I am just going to take my small, I think that's my size 2 brush, add a little bit of white to the red, just lighten it up just a little, but I still want it pretty bright. Add a little bit of pink to it, and just trying to figure out my color palette, going for pinks and reds and yellowy stuff because that's that's the color I like. But yeah, we're just doing loose florals. Keep in mind, acrylic flowers are not my strong point. So we're just, and you know what? It doesn't even matter because it's a small handle and it doesn't need to be super detailed. So we're just kind of doing petal shapes. No pressure, little petal shapes all over. We're starting off with this dark red color and then trying to space it evenly over the handle. I'm also going to put some lighter flowers like in bunches between or beside some of those. So I'm trying to keep that in mind of spacing. And I will add some greens after. I'll mix them later. I just didn't want to bring them out just yet. And I'm adding some white for some highlights because instead of using white space with acrylic, you can just use white on top because it's opaque. So then I took a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white to do some tiny little details for the stamen. And then next I mixed a lighter pink color for a different flower that will go right beside it, added some yellow and this nice like peachy color, and just placed some of them beside some of the bigger flowers to have them in bunches. So once I was done with all the flowers, I started to mix some colors for the leaves. I used blue and yellow and then just add a little bit of red to mute the green to make it look more like a olive shade of green. Then I mixed in some white to that shade of green to have another shade of green to do a little bit of highlights on those leaves. And then lastly, I used an even darker shade of green to create some really tiny leaves all over. I think I originally said I mixed blue and yellow. I think that's like a viridian green. I can't remember. But yeah, so I just used some darker green for a bit of contrast for those tiny little leaves. Okay, so it is done drying. Now I'm going to take off this part so we can see the full effect. Hoping that the lines are crisp and not too bad. Let's see what it looks like. And there we go. I think that actually looks pretty cool. Definitely cannot use it for an actual to paint with. The water would totally just ruin it. And I think over time, even though I did spray it with a varnish, it could definitely chip off. So this will be strictly decoration in my office, but I think it looks pretty cool. So there we have it. There's our paintbrush. I think it turned out so cute. Kind of wish I could use it, but I won't. It will just remain on my wall, like I said. I might try this again with a bigger paintbrush. Clearly, maybe like one from the dollar store, like a big paintbrush, because that was a lot of fun and it was fun painting on a different surface for once. So if you guys are interested in the paintbrush holder that I was using, I will put the link down below to where you can buy it. And that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this weird video, and I hope you learned something from it maybe. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.